Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining me for this webinar on getting started with DocsPlus. My name is Gemma. I'm the Customer Experience Manager at Crick Software. So I manage our customer experience team to support our customers in getting the most out of our software. For today's webinar, we've got about 30 minutes. And during that time, we're going to have a look at how to access a selection of key DocsPlus features across different devices. We're going to be looking at how you can open and save different DocsPlus files. And I'll be giving you an introduction to the library of free DocsPlus resources that you can access called Learning Grids. So I put our contact information on the screen for you now in case you'd like to make a note of it. And if you have any questions during the webinar, please do feel free to ask. If you're attending through Zoom and you have a question, you can ask your question using the Q&A function. That's the icon with the two speech bubbles. Or if you're attending through Facebook, you can ask your question by leaving it as a comment beneath the video. And somebody from the Crick Software team will be there to help you out and answer your questions. We are recording this webinar and we'll be making the recording available to everybody who registered through Zoom in the next couple of days. And recordings will also be available on the Facebook pages shortly after the end of the webinar. If you have any questions after the webinar, perhaps you couldn't join us today live, so you're watching the recording now, or you're trying something out from the webinar and a question occurs to you, please do get in touch. You can give us a call on one of the office numbers just here. You can email our customer experience team at training@cricksoft.com, and there's lots of help and advice available on our website as well. A couple of things to be aware of before we start having a look at DocsPlus itself. So we will be looking at how you access DocsPlus on multiple devices today. So we'll be looking at DocsPlus on Windows or Mac computers. That might be a laptop or a desktop computer. And we'll be looking at how you access DocsPlus through the DocsPlus app on iPads and Chromebooks. I am using the UK version of DocsPlus today, so any voices and any spellings will be the English versions. Okay, so let's start off by having a look at DocsPlus on PC. So when we first open it up, we'll see the Quick Start menu. Okay, so this allows us to access certain features of DocsPlus really quickly as soon as we open the program. So something your students will probably be doing a lot is going straight into new document to start writing using different support tools. You can also create a new Smart tab, and there are 3 different kinds of Smart tab that you can access through DocsPlus. So those are word bars, which offer subject-specific vocabulary. This displayed beneath the document to support writing on different subject areas. Then there are workspaces. These are a really nice, simple to use visual organizer tool, great for encouraging students to plan out and develop their ideas before starting a piece of writing. And then there's the Doc Reader, which allows you to access PDF documents or Microsoft Word documents with DocsPlus's speech support. Okay. So we could create a new one of those here, or on the left-hand side, we can access our recent files list. So any DocsPlus file that we have opened up recently will be listed here, and we can select it to open it up again really quickly. So this might be a piece of writing that we've started working on and we want to continue working on it. It might be a word bar that we've used previously and we want to come back to it. It might be something like this Peel Paragraph Planner where we're planning out a piece of writing. And if there's something that we're going to be using a lot, we can also pin that resource on to this list. So let's take this Peel Paragraph Planner. There's a pin icon just here, which I can click, and it will then move to the top of the list, and it will always be available there at the top of the list. So whenever I open DocsPlus, it will be there waiting for me. If I no longer need that resource, I can unpin it by clicking that pin icon again, and it will go back to its original position in the list. Also, from the Quick Start menu, we can go to these Watch Tutorials link. So that will take you to the training pages of our website, where you can find more resources. Lastly, we have two tabs here at the top of our Quick Start menu, a Browse tab and a Learning Grids Resources tab. So the Browse tab, which we'll open in a moment, will take us to the File Explorer, so we can open up any files. And the Learning Grids Resources tab will take us to that bank of free pre-made resources. And we'll be looking at Learning Grids a little later in the webinar. Okay, so we're going to go into Browse now. And this takes us to the home location in DocsPlus. So the home location is where DocsPlus will take you if you want to open a document or save a document. You can navigate to other files if you'd like, but this is the first place that it will take you. And that might be a folder somewhere on your computer. That might be a folder on a server, perhaps your school server, so you can share files within the school. Or that might be a folder in cloud storage, OneDrive or Dropbox, for example. So you can then share your files across different devices. Okay. You can also have a look through any files on your desktop or your documents from the list just here. Okay. Now, we've got a few different icons appearing in our File Explorer at the moment, and those represent the different kinds of file they are. So we've got DocsPlus documents here. We've got themes in Romeo and Juliet, a light investigation, photosynthesis. And these are the pieces of writing that we might be working on at the moment. So we can open those up from here to continue working on them. We also have word bars, which are the icons which look like a box with some lines in it. And those are our banks of vocabulary. We've also got boxes that are connected together, like migration and the Peel paragraph planner, types of volcanoes. And those are our workspace files. And lastly, we also have Microsoft Word documents and PDFs. Okay. So that's DocsPlus on a PC, just looking at that File Explorer aspect. Let's have a look at the DocsPlus app now. Okay. So you can see here, we don't have a quick start menu when we first open the DocsPlus app, but we can get to our document, our workspace, and our doc reader using these tabs just here. iPad users, you'll probably have your on-screen keyboard displayed at the bottom of your screen, but Chromebook users, you might have that minimized, or you might have a word bar open instead. And we'll be looking at the word bars more in just a moment. If we want to go and find a different DocsPlus file, we want to open something up, we're going to need to go to the folder icon up in the top left of the corner, top left of the screen. And here you can see we've got My Files, Learning Grids, and Sample DocsPlus sets. So the samples are a few example resources that you can have a look through. Learning Grids, again, is that bank of resources that we'll be having a look at later on. And My Files is going to open up the File Explorer for the device that I'm using. So I'm not going to click this now because it's going to change depending on the device that you're using. If you're using an iPad, selecting My Files will open up the Files app on your iPad and allow you to navigate through those to find any DocsPlus files. You can also access your cloud storage shortcuts from that Files app. If you're using a Chromebook and you select My Files, it will open up the Chromebook's File Explorer. So there you'll be able to look through any file saved to the Chromebook itself, but you'll also be able to access your own Google Drive to share files across Chromebooks. And you'll be able to access any shared Google Drives. So if you're sharing files with other staff or with students. Okay, so we're going to have a look at how we might open these files now. So just going back to DocsPlus here, we've got a selection of files, and we're going to open up a word bar first of all. So we've got a few to choose from here. We've got an investigation frame. We've got this word bar example here, and animal and plant cells. And when we select a file, we can also have a look at it as a preview over here on the right-hand side. So we can see what that resource looks like and make sure that we're opening the one we're expecting to open. Okay. So I'm going to open this animal and plant cells resource, this word bar, and I could double click it to open it. Or once it's selected, I can go to open down here, and it will open up in DocsPlus. And if we were doing that in the app, we could select that file and then choose open, and it will open in the app. So here now I've got some key vocabulary for writing about the differences between animal and plant cells and their different features. So I've got lots of really great key vocabulary here. And I've got a functions tab just here, which if I select it, gives me vocabulary for writing about the functions of those different features. I can then click any of the words in the word bar to add them into my document to support my writing. And if we wanted to save this resource to share it with someone else, maybe we've made some changes to it as well. Word bars, like we said earlier, are a Smart Tab resource. So we're going to go to Smart Tab up at the top of the screen and then choose Save, or we might choose to print that word bar as well. So I can save or print here. Let's have a look at that word bar in the DocsPlus app as well. So we've got this one open that we saw earlier. Here I've got some starters that I might want to use, some sentence starters, and I can click or tap those words to add them into my document to support my writing. Just like we saw in the PC version, we do have different tabs for this word bar, but instead of appearing just up here, they're displayed at the very bottom of the screen instead. So this word bar offers us vocabulary about life cycles. So in general, I've got some general vocabulary for writing about life cycles, and then vocabulary for writing about the life cycles of different organisms. Okay. And again, I can click or tap those words to add them into the document. Now, if you're using an iPad, you're going to need your on-screen keyboard as well. So you can toggle between your on-screen keyboard and the word bar using this icon just here. So we can swap between the two by selecting this icon. Chromebook users, you'll have a physical keyboard, so you'll be able to keep your word bar open. So that's a word bar. Let's have a look now at a word bank, at a workspace rather. Okay, so I'm back on the PC version now, the computer version. And I need to get back to my file explorer. I need to be able to look back through those files. So to do that, I'm going to go to my folder icon in the top left of my screen. And that takes me back to that same folder that I was in before. So this time we're looking for the workspace icons, those two cells linked together. And we've got a few here again to look at. We've got one on migration here, the peel paragraph planner we've mentioned before, and types of volcanoes. And again, we've got that preview, so we can check what that file looks like before we open it. So I'm going to open up this peel paragraph planner first of all. So I'm going to double click it this time for it to open in DocsPlus. So here I've got the different elements of the paragraph, and I can fill in the details to prepare for writing it. To do that, I can double click in any of the boxes to write my points, my example, my explanation, and my link information. Now, I might not just be planning out one paragraph at a time. So what I can do to work on another paragraph once we've planned out this one, I can right click on my tab over here. My tabs are on the right for my workspaces.
Peel.
And I can choose to duplicate it. So then I can work on my first paragraph and my next paragraph with an identical layout. Okay. Let's have a look at another way we might use our workspaces. So I'm going to go back to my file explorer by going to my folder icon. And this time we'll open up the migration workspace. So this might be something that a student puts together over a course of several lessons as their notes, if they prefer things organized more visually. It might be something that they put together as part of their revision before an assessment or an examination, or maybe they're planning for an extended piece of writing. So on my first tab here, I've got some general key vocabulary for writing about migration. I've got a tab for vocabulary on push factors, pull factors, and I've started plotting out a case study. Now, if we are working on this over a period of time, we're going to need to be able to save it. Okay, so again, workspaces are a kind of smart tab. So we're going to go to the smart tab ribbon before we save or print this resource. Okay. Going back to the DocsPlus app, so we didn't mention about saving word bars in the app. We can absolutely save those. To save a word bar, we're going to go to the grid icon just here. And you can see I've got a Save As option. And that will then open up my File Explorer and I can choose where I want to save that resource. Let's go to our Workspace tab now. And I've got a workspace on different types of volcanoes. So we're looking at composite and shield volcanoes here. And again, we can double click or double tap to fill in some details. So a characteristic of a composite volcano, it's got steep sides. And if I'm using an iPad, I'm going to need to be able to access my on-screen keyboard here as well. So I can turn that on with this icon just here. Okay. Once I've then filled in all of those details, I want to save it. So again, I can go to this icon, familiar from our File Explorer, the two boxes linked together, and that allows us to save our workspace. Okay, so we've had a look at word bars, we've had a look at workspaces. Let's have a look now at the doc reader. Okay, so again, I'm going to have to go to my File Explorer. I need to find a PDF or a Microsoft Word document to open in my doc reader. So I'll go back to my folder icon. And I've got a few options here again. I've got some past papers just here. I've got a couple of chapters of Oliver Twist, some text on photosynthesis and some text on plants, as well as some text on the human body as a Microsoft Word document. So I'm going to open up this What is Photosynthesis PDF. And that opens up in the doc reader in DocsPlus. So now I can use the speech support in DocsPlus to make this text more accessible. I can highlight the text I want to hear read out, and then go to the read button in my top toolbar.
Photosynthesis is a very important process that takes place in plants.
And DocsPlus will read that back for me. So at the moment, I've got a female adult voice with a British accent reading that text for me, but I can have different voices in DocsPlus as well. You might have also noticed the red highlight as that text was being read out to help with reading fluency and help me keep track of the text as we're going through it. Okay. Now, I might find that this view isn't quite working for me. It's a little bit zoomed in. So we can adjust the view in our doc reader with our zoom in and zoom out options just here. So maybe I want to zoom out a little. And for longer pieces of text, I can move between the different pages just here. And we'll see another example of that later on. We can also use this icon to search through the document, particularly useful for more literary texts. If we're trying to find a quote, if we can only remember a word or two, we can put that into the find box and it will take us straight to that quote. Okay. Now, scrolling down at the bottom of this text, I've got a couple of questions on photosynthesis. And if I want to write up my answers, I could handwrite my answers, perhaps in my book. Or I might want to write my answers in the document in DocsPlus. So to get from the doc reader to the document, you might notice down here at the bottom of the screen, I've got some tabs. So all of those resources that I've opened already are still here as tabs, which I can go back to, including my word bar, or the kind of page icon just here takes me just to my document. So I could use these tabs to move between my doc reader and my document to write up my answers. But I might lose track of what I wanted to write when moving between the two. So what I can do is go to this icon just here. This is called Split View. And this allows me to access the doc reader and the document at the same time. I've still got my read button, so I can hear my sentence, my question read out.
What is the name of the pigment that helps to absorb sunlight in plants?
and I could zoom in or out. I can also adjust the proportion of the screen given to the doc reader or the document by dragging. Okay. Now, sometimes we might be able to write our answers directly into the PDF if it's an editable PDF. So let's just go back into the File Explorer, and we've got an example of an editable PDF just here. So we'll open this one up. The questions, again, are at the end of the text, so I can use my arrows to move between the pages, or I can jump straight to the last page. And where we've got our questions now, we've also got these purple boxes. So these are where we can write in our answers. Okay, these show where the text, where the document is editable. We can access the doc reader in the DocsPlus app as well. So if we go back there now, you can see we've got a doc reader tab up here at the top of the screen. And here we've got the first chapter of Oliver Twist. So we can go through this text again. We might be highlighting some text and going to our read button in our top toolbar again.
Among other public buildings in a certain town.
And we've still got that red highlight. And we might be highlighting a sentence, a whole paragraph, or just individual words that we're struggling with. We can use the doc reader and the speech support as much or as little as we need to, but we can be more independent in how we're accessing the text. And we can then move between our document and our doc reader using the tabs at the top of the screen. Okay, so we've had a look through the different smart tabs that are available in DocsPlus. Let's have a look at learning grids now. So we can create these smart tabs for ourselves, our word bars and our workspaces, but we've got lots of these pre-made, and I always recommend going to learning grids first. So to find learning grids in the DocsPlus app, we're going to go to the folder icon in the top left of the screen. And you can see I've got a learning grids option as the second option down in my menu. And that takes me to this screen. So here we've got just over 1,250 resources ready for you to use. And these have been created by our curriculum team of ex-teachers. So this isn't a static list. Our team are constantly creating these resources, and they get added to learning grids twice a month. The most recently added resources will always sit at the top of the list, just here. So if you're looking for a resource on a particular topic area, you don't want to be scrolling through over 1,000 resources to find it. So there are a few ways that you can narrow that search down. So we've got the search bar here. So we might be looking for photosynthesis, migration, we might be looking for Tudors, of mice and men, for example, and we can search for that in there. Or we can use these subject areas. So if I click through these now, you can see that for each subject area, it's broken down into different topics and categories. So it's really easy to see what topics we have resources available on. So as a quick example now, let's go into geography and we'll look at some resources on population. Okay. So we've got 10 resources on population, and I might want to narrow that down a bit. If I know that I specifically want a workspace, here on the left-hand side, I can tick the box for workspaces, and it will just show me, it will filter it for just the workspaces in this topic area. Okay. Now, if we uncheck that box, 10 resources, maybe we don't want to filter that down any further. We just want to have a look through. But we do need to know what kind of resource we're looking at. So over here above the open button, the resources are labeled as either a word bar or a workspace. So let's open up this migration push and pull workspace quickly. So to open any of these resources, we just click or tap open. And that will open up in the app, and we can then double click or double tap to fill in these details. This workspace has tabs as well. So at the bottom of the screen, we can choose to fill in information about international migration, rural to urban migration, and counter urbanisation. Okay. Let's have a look at learning grids now for DocsPlus on a PC. Okay, so going back to DocsPlus here. And again, we're going to go to our folder icon in the top left of the screen. And we're going to choose the Learning Grids Resources tab just here. So this takes us to a very similar looking window. We've again got our search bar here, so we can look through those resources. We can go through the different subject areas here. So let's open up geography again and population. And we've got those same 10 resources available to us. So this time, let's open up a word bar, this migration push and pull word bar. Okay. And now we've got key vocabulary for writing about push factors in this grid and pull factors in this grid. Okay. Now, while we're writing in the document, we do have some additional support tools available to us. So first of all, we might have some students who can tell us their ideas, and they've got lots of great ideas, but when it comes to writing them down, they forget what they wanted to write about. So in that case, we might use a tool called Voice Notes, which we can access with this microphone button just here. So when we select that, it opens up a sound recorder. So we'll stick with the topic of migration, and I'm going to record something I might write about. So red button to start recording. Migration is the movement of people. Okay, so stop to end that recording. I can listen to that back. I can re-record as many times as I need to. If I'm not happy with my recording, maybe I've stumbled over my words a bit, maybe I've changed my mind about what I want to write about. But so long as I'm happy, I can select done. And my recording will then sit over here to the left of my document as this red speech bubble. I can then click that speech bubble. Migration is the movement of people, to hear that recording played back for me. Okay. And we can have up to 6 voice notes in a document, and each one will hold up to a minute of recording. So we can get a lot of initial ideas recorded in that way. Now, if we're working on a longer, extended piece of writing, we're probably scrolling down the page. So as I move down the page, you'll notice my voice note stays in that same position. So it moves with my view. So I'm not having to keep scrolling back up to check what I was planning to write about. So that's voice notes. Let's type that sentence in now. So migration is the movement of people.
Migration is the movement of people.
Okay. So I've made some misspellings in this case, and I've got my red underline there to show me where I've gone wrong. And whenever I end a sentence in DocsPlus, it's reading it back for me as well. So often I can hear where it doesn't quite sound right, or maybe I've missed a word out, or maybe that sentence just doesn't quite make sense. So to fix those misspellings, I can right click to open up my spell check and use this kind of list view here. Or I can go to the ABC icon in my document ribbon, and that gives me this nice floating grid. And this will go through every mistake in a document, so I don't miss any out.
Migration is the movement of people.
There we go, that sounds much better. The last of the support tools when I'm working in the document is the predictor. So I can turn on the predictor with this icon just here, and it looks very similar to the spell check, but it's offering me some words that I might use to start writing. So this is great for writing fluency and spelling support. So an example, lovely, of a push factor is, let's go for land. And you can see vocabulary from my word bar is also being pulled into my predictor. So any open word bar will feed into my predictor as well. And these tools are all available through the DocsPlus app as well. So if I go to my document now, I can access voice notes with the microphone icon in my top toolbar. And this will work in the same way as we saw on PC, with it appearing over here as a speech bubble. I can turn on the predictor with this icon here, and it will sit above my word bar or my on-screen keyboard. And if I use my spell check, it will sit here as well. Okay. If we then want to save our piece of writing, in the app, we're going to go to this document icon here and choose Save As. And in DocsPlus on a PC, we need to make sure we're in the document ribbon before we choose to save or print our work as well. Okay, we are now coming to the end of the webinar. I do hope you found it useful. I'll just put our contact information back on the screen in case anybody wants to make a note of it. If you do still have questions, please do continue to use the Q&A. We will be available for a few more minutes, but if you need to get going, that's absolutely fine. When you leave the webinar, a survey will open in your browser. If you could take a moment to fill that in to help us to continue to offer high quality webinars, that would be fantastic. Okay, thank you everybody for joining me today, and have a lovely rest of your day.